I think the screen is now visible to all of you. And you can definitely start creating your lesson plans based on these guidelines. Your name, today's date, the subject, the grade, the division you teach, the learning objective and the learning outcomes, with the time required for that particular lesson, the materials you would require. So take a screenshot of this just in case you haven't already started with your lesson plan. Then what will you do as an introduction or a do now or an engaging activity? What will you do in the mini lesson, which is your explicit instruction strategy? What will be your supported practice or your guided practice, which you did see in the video? What will be the individual practice or the independent learning that you are planning for your students? How do you plan to differentiate for the diverse needs of diverse learners in your classrooms? So what are the differentiation strategies you are planning? What are your assessment plans? And what notes are you taking as a reflective measure? So what are your reflections? And what do you intend to do by then? What is your feedback? What is the student feedback? What is your peer feedback? Homework can be a part of the assessment and evaluation. So please start framing your lesson plans. I'll give you about 10 minutes for the planning. You can quickly jot down and then we'll have a quick sharing of the lesson plans. I cannot share the Word file. I have already given you individual concepts that you need to write on the Word file. I have also shared what the CBSE expectations are. I asked you to take a screenshot of those because every school has customized lesson plans for their own schools, and everyone also has their own customized personal lesson plans. However, the CBSE gives us guidelines in the curriculum on which our lesson plans need to be based. Therefore, I request you to follow the CBSE guideline and fit in your lesson plans there. I showed you a lesson plan template which matches the CBSE guideline more or less. What I also see is barely 20 people having videos on, and all the others have decided to stay shut on videos. So I believe you are done. I can see some of you still writing. Yes, Shweta Khanolkar ji. All right, so Sushma Patil ma'am says it's all done and ready. Great. There's nothing on the screen for you to see. All right, Sushma Patil ma'am, which subject do you teach? You can unmute now. Sushma Patil ma'am, which subject do you teach?
Yes, ma'am. I teach social science subject.
Wonderful. So let's have your lesson plan. All the social science teachers need to be alert. I think we have at least two principals with us today. I know Jayashree Jadhav ma'am. I know about Monica ma'am. Do we have any more principals? Okay, so if you are a principal, then you need to also give your feedback on the session, on the particular lesson plan that we are now going to be hearing. All the social science teachers need to have their ears geared up because it's your subject. You will definitely have an input because social science is your subject. So let us hear from Sushma ma'am. I think it was Sushma only as the name.
Sushma Patil.
Sushma Patil ma'am, yes. Let me give you some spotlight so that we can all see you. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I have taken grade 9th, where I've chosen lesson from civics textbook. It is electoral politics, ma'am. And I have done it according to what screenshot you had shared just now. So the lesson is electoral politics, and the learning objectives that I have just written down here is: first one, create awareness of the importance of elections. This is my first learning out of objective. Second is understanding the need of elections in a democracy. Then third is understanding the process of elections in a democratic country. These are the three learning objectives which I have written down. And if I go for material needed, where I have written down here, ma'am, EVS machines, like we can make just the box and accordingly we can show it to children. Then the political parties names, symbols of particular political parties, then voters ID card, then the stationery which is required, and activity. I would like to mention here about special activity in a classroom. We can create that polling booth wala scene where children are participating, and accordingly they are going table by table and then they are putting their vote. This is how I would like to go about this lesson, ma'am.
Okay. And what about the intro and the strategy?
Yeah, previous knowledge, ma'am, like how much they are know about elections. In case if we are going to conduct election in the classroom, like what type of candidates they want, based on what they would be selecting their monitor. This is how I will go about. And then coming to the country's election democracy.
All right. So what about the assessment strategy that you are planning?
Assessment strategies, ma'am. First thing I would like to know from them how much they understood what elections are and what are the steps in elections based on the lesson, and the names of political parties, state parties, then national parties, all this.
All right. So, and what do you think worked well in this lesson?
First, ma'am, the activity that I would like to conduct, because it will make the process of election very easy for them to understand. This will be the first thing that will work. And then, ma'am, the discussion, what knowledge they have regarding the election process in our country.
Okay. So let me hear from some of the social science teachers. I see a lot of them on board here. So some of the social science teachers, I would love you to raise your hands quickly, the digital hand. Yes, there's one hand raised, Madhura Insulkar ma'am. Yes, Madhura ma'am. Could you comment on this particular plan? Madhura ma'am, you need to have your mic unmuted.
Hello,
Yes,
ma'am.
Madhura ma'am, yes, continue.
Okay, I like her plan, ma'am, because whatever activity she will like to conduct in the class, it will actually work, because students will know about the process, exactly what is the process of the election. They will understand by this activity. So I already conducted last year this activity in the class. So students understood very well. Thank you, ma'am.
All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
What about Amol sir?
Hello, ma'am. Good evening. Actually, I liked that plan. I appreciate the plan she has used. Means activity based. Actually, there are many kinds of students like kinesthetic learners. Then some students like audio visuals. So here, I would also like to what we can say include some of the basic information. First, students should understand the basic information about the elections. So, in prior knowledge, uh, uh, teacher can ask about the elections, because elections are common in India, and students also may be knowing because they are in 9th standard. So they know all these processes in their mind. So first of all, teacher can ask them, so what are the elections and the current election procedure? What is the current government, means which is the current government, who is the political leader? So all these basic things they can ask, and then they can the lesson. That would be my additional point. Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you, sir. What about Geeta ma'am? What is your view?
Good evening, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, absolutely, ma'am.
I also go along with the lesson plan. It's done okay with the lesson plan with this type of activity being conducted in the class, because election is a procedure where we should make aware of regarding this thing to the children. By conducting an activity, it would be of great help to the students to learn it in a more better way. I would also like to add some of my suggested points for the introduction or ice-breaking activity. Like ma'am, we can also go with a demo of choosing a monitor based on elections. So that would be a little bit interesting for the children, and we can line up all the other activities what is already Sushma Patil ma'am has explained in her lesson plan.
All right, all right. Thank you, ma'am. Monica, ma'am, would you want to share your inputs?
Yes, I agree with Geeta ma'am. I also believe in, going from near to far. So basically in our everyday life, starting from our family, do we make decisions together in a family in our daily life? So making choice is also about election. So starting from there and then near to far when we go. So what do they observe in their family? Then also the student investiture ceremony which happens in school to elect the council members of the school. If the same kind of mostly all schools follow this democratic approach of selecting the student council. So the beginning from home, then school, and then if we come on the topic, it will be better. This is what I feel. But otherwise, definitely activity-based learning helps learner a lot to connect to the topic. Only taking down notes, especially in social science, makes it very boring and lethargic for the
True.
students.
So I have Shubhangi ma'am who's also raised her hand. Yes, ma'am, for a last word from you. You're not audible, ma'am. No, ma'am, you're not audible. I think you need to adjust your microphone settings. So I would just like to bring to your attention here that Sushma Patil ma'am spoke about electoral politics, and nowhere in her objectives did she mention learning about political parties. And in fact, if you notice that chapter in electoral politics, it deals with the role of the election commission. So I did not find a connect there, though all of us know that an experiential activity in that particular chapter deals with conducting a classroom election in some way or another. So there was one visible flaw that your objective learning outcome did not match with the content of the unit. Otherwise, I found a beautifully set plan, and I was quite happy that you had chosen that section. So I would personally feel you need to match on that, ma'am. Otherwise, it's been a wonderful experience listening to an electoral politics plan. Okay, I had
Sorry, ma'am.
yes,
But
ma'am.
political parties' name and symbols I mentioned. Only I forgot to mention about the election commission, ma'am. That's
Yes, so that particular thing comes with the role of the election commission. Knowing
yes,
about
ma'am.
political parties heads on to grade 10, where they do the regional and state parties, which you showed as your learning need having met at the end of your assessment. So the regional and national parties will go to grade 10. So you need to distinguish there. Okay, now there was somebody here who had spoken about completing another plan. I think it was, do we have someone in science here who wants to share a plan quickly? We have about 5 minutes left. Somebody from the science group who wishes to share a plan.
Yes, ma'am, I would like to share.
Hello.
Yeah, who is that from science? You can raise your hand. Shubhangi ma'am, are you from the science group?
Ma'am, am I audible to you, ma'am?
Who are you?
Hello.
Yeah, Shubhangi ma'am.
Ma'am, I teach social science, ma'am.
Okay, I am now looking for a science teacher. Somebody in the
Actually,
science group.
Okay. I just wanted to share a few things.
Okay, somebody from the science group who wants to speak.
Yes, ma'am.
Who is that? Tell me your name
this
so
is
I can give you a spotlight.
Neema Sawant.
Sawant. Let me check. There is Neema Nair Sawant. Okay. Let me give you a spotlight so you are visible to us. Yes, ma'am. We have about 5 minutes left in today's session. Be quick on your presentation so we can call for inputs. Other science teachers may keep their hands raised so I can start giving you screen space.
Okay. Ma'am, I would like to present the plan for one of the concept of 9th standard, matter in our surrounding. Only one concept, one topic of contraction and expansion, which will need hardly 35 to 40 minutes. Okay, and here the learning objective will be effect of change of temperature. Okay, prior knowledge, yes, but obvious. Prior knowledge will be the random questions, because they are already the session will be previous session. They are knowing about the states of matter and what is matter. Okay, now when I come to the concept of contraction and expansion, I'll go with one of the activity in which they will create, it is an hands-on activity where they will go with a homemade thermometer. Okay, ma'am. So the requirements for this activity will be alcohol, few test tubes, dropper, and clay, and a straw. Okay, they will have to mark the straw with the marker. Okay, and take some clay, immerse it in the test tube filled with alcohol, and seal the opening of the test tube. Okay, and now when they immerse the test tube in hot water and in the entirely cold water, they would find the change in the liquid, the level of liquid which rises or drops. So here I can come after the activity, I can come with the assessment with the random questions like, why do we need the straw should not touch the bottom, kind of. Then why do we need the liquid or the alcohol to be colored? Okay, then why do we need to seal the opening? Then what are the properties of liquid? Okay, so but obvious they will reach to that rise and fall, and they will come to the conclusion that the because of the temperature does affect the force of attraction between the molecules, and accordingly they will rise or fall. So the contraction and expansion concept, I think I will achieve my objective over here.
All right. So what do you think worked well, ma'am, in your lesson, and why?
The hands-on activity will definitely work well, ma'am. Because when children themselves are going with certain activities, and when they find the whatever is the aim that is achieved, and actually the things are happening, they know that yes, when there is an expansion, when there is a rise in temperature, the liquids expand, and when there is fall in temperature, the liquids contract. So that's what.
Okay, so you mean to say your objective is very clearly met with?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I have Janki ma'am ready with her view on this lesson. Janki ma'am, please unmute. Janki Barapatre ma'am, please unmute. And Aishwarya ma'am also to unmute so we can have your views. We are running out on time. We are hard pressed. Yes, Janki ma'am is ready. Okay, Janki ma'am.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. You're just asking, is there any other science teachers? Just raise your hand, and that's why I raised my hand. And I want you were asking about the feedback for this for Nima ma'am's.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Feedback on Nima ma'am's lesson.
Yeah, ma'am. She has done it well, ma'am. But executing level, I think it. I feel like is it difficult? Like that's it. But other activity, what she said, Nima ma'am, about handmade thermometer, about that was awesome, ma'am. But somewhere I feel it was means difficult, or means it messed up or like that. I feel so.
Why do you feel so, ma'am? What was so difficult?
because difficult means, ma'am, not that like that, ma'am. Because what I want to say, what she was saying about contraction and expansion of liquids. So that contraction and liquids were how the liquids contract and how it is expanding. If it was clear, then it would be easy, ma'am.
Okay, so you would have probably tried out some other method to explain this concept and then given a hands-on, you mean to say?
No, ma'am. Nima, ma'am, what she has said about the activity that will work, ma'am. Means activity-based teaching. That is well, good, ma'am. That's it, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. What about Aishwarya, ma'am?
Hello, am I audible, ma'am?
Absolutely audible.
Good evening. The lesson plan made by Nima ma'am is really nice. I would like to add few points under introduction, like to check the prior knowledge of students. We can add a few questions like what are the various states of matter and their properties. And we can ask to students questions like based on properties, what are the various methods of separation we can use to separate. Teacher can give a few examples.
Ma'am, I think you're having an audio issue, Aishwarya, ma'am. Your microphone is creating a sound.
Is it fine now? Hello?
Yeah. Now it's clearer.
Yeah. So we can give few examples like daily life examples of different states of matter, and we can ask students to state which method is more applicable to separate these matters. And through these activities or through these questions, we can assess the understanding or knowledge of students.
Great. Absolutely. So, Monica, ma'am, what is your view and take on this lesson?
Can I talk, ma'am? Pooja Mane.
Pooja, ma'am, your video is off. That is why I did not give you a chance.
Oh,
Yes, ma'am.
sorry, ma'am. Actually, I want to share one activity which is based on expansion and contraction, and which is student can execute in a daily basis and at home also, which is we already see day-to-day life, that is ice. When the bottle liquid water when we kept in the fridge and it become a ice, and when we kept in the outside the fridge, it become a change their state. So we can introduce that expansion and contraction concept at a home also, day-to-day life, and that is an easy activity for the students. That's only I have to share.
Thank you so much, Pooja, ma'am. It was really nice hearing you. Yes, ma'am, over to Monica, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Very well executed, because of course, science, until and unless it's done hands-on, children are not able to connect the theory and the practical aspect of it. But I would agree to the few suggestions given by my friends that if we are able to cite some examples for daily lives and then take it to the laboratory also, children will be able to understand better.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think our session timing is also over, and I can see a lot of feedback in the chat box. Thank you, all of you who've already given me a wonderful feedback. And I have also asked Dr. Mohanty to share the feedback form that you fill, so I get an accurate feedback on this session and maybe improve the upcoming sessions. So thank you very much, everyone. With this, I think we can end with today's session. Thank you. I see the chat still moving with a lot of feedback pouring in. I am really humbled and honored to understand that each one of you has enjoyed this session and has really appreciated this session to this extent. Thank you very much for that feedback.
Good evening.
I still see people writing, expecting more sessions. Send in your feedback to your Sahodaya if you're expecting more sessions. And maybe the Sahodaya will look into it. So I think till then, I guess we can exit if I am permitted.
Yes, good evening.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I hope I can exit.
Thank you, ma'am.
I think Khyati ma'am, just a minute. Pooja ma'am wants to propose a vote of thanks.
Who is Pooja ma'am? Pooja Chopra ma'am. Okay,
Chopra,
I will. Okay, I will give you a spotlight. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Jayashree ma'am. Good evening, Khyati ma'am and all the educators. It was really a very enriching session. 2-3 points that I have noted down, which were totally new or which were revised after many years, we were focus on the lesson plan that you have to achieve specific learning objectives. Then the 3 steps, what you have to do before the class, what you have to do during the class, and what you have to do after the class. That was also really amazing, ma'am. And the most important thing is, what do I want my students to take away from this particular lesson is most important, and your lesson plan will really be successful if you give a nice takeaway for your students. And because of all these points, you made us understand and made us so easy. Like we now think that preparing a lesson plan is really so easy. And we can even tell our teachers accordingly, because it's a big issue for them that they have to write a lesson plan on so many levels. So now when we brief them and make it so short and to the point, they will also enjoy to prepare an effective lesson plan. Thank you so much, Khyati ma'am. It was really a pleasure having you. So on behalf of Sahodaya Complex Kolhapur, I extend my gratitude and a big thank you for you. Thank you, Khyati ma'am.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to meeting you all in further sessions. Thank you each one and every one of you. The feedback's really been great. Thank you, Monica ma'am and Jayashree ma'am. Looking forward to meeting both of you in the principal sessions. So thank you. Have a great evening, everyone. I am looking forward to stopping the recording right now.